flipping through the newspapers, switching through multiple news channels, exploring different websites and online mediums for relevant news? Keeping up to date with important news is not only time-consuming but also requires meticulous upkeep of notes for thorough revision. With a limited period in hand and abundant resources to study from, do not let current affairs come in the way of your prelims success. Join the PT 365 program by Vision IAS and advance in your preparation for current affairs. Starting on 9th January at 5 p.m., this 20-day course offers comprehensive coverage of 1 year of current affairs in 60 hours. Join for improved knowledge with complete coverage of The Hindu, Indian Express, PIB, Economic Times, Yojana, Economic Survey, etc. Doubt-clearing sessions and mentoring for thorough knowledge. Access to Sandhan personalized test with 25,000 plus questions. Access to live and online classes for flexibility in timing. It's time to devote your energy to smart learning and not running. Enroll today and excel in UPSC prelims with a strong command of current affairs.
Hello and welcome to this edition of News Today. Without delay, let's have a look at the headlines first. Microsoft launched Majorana 1 quantum chip. Supreme Court stays Lokpal order giving itself jurisdiction over High Court judges. Ministry of Information and Broadcasting warns OTTs against obscene content. Intensified non-communicable disease screening campaign launched by Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. RBI's bulletin analyzes quality of public expenditure and its socio-economic impact in India. India sees over 30% decline in suicide death rates from 1990 to 2021 according to Lancet study. In the first news for the day, we have a groundbreaking development in the world of technology. Microsoft has launched Majorana 1, the world's first quantum chip powered by an entirely new topological core architecture. This innovation is set to revolutionize quantum computing by offering more stable and scalable computing components. Let's dive into what makes Majorana 1 so special. Moving on to its key features. Majorana 1 is powered by the first ever topoconductor, also known as a topological superconductor. Now, what exactly is a topoconductor? It is a unique material that creates a new state of matter, not a solid, liquid or gas, but a topological state. Now let's talk about what it is made of. The material used in Majorana 1 consists of indium arsenide, a semiconductor, and aluminium, a superconductor. The chip uses a superconducting nanowire to observe specific particles and can be controlled with standard computing equipment. Speaking of particles, let's discuss the Majorana fermion. The subatomic particle is at the heart of Majorana 1. Majorana fermion is a fermion that behaves as both a particle and its own antiparticle. First theorized in the 1930s, its unique properties make it a key element in stabilizing quantum computing operations. Now, why is Majorana 1 such a big leap forward? Unlike rival chips from companies like Google, Willow, and IBM, Majorana 1 requires fewer qubits while maintaining lower error rates. But how is a qubit different from a bit? A bit is a binary digit that can only be 0 or 1, while a qubit can be 0, 1, or a superposition of both. And here's where things get even more exciting. By combining this new quantum chip with artificial intelligence, Microsoft aims to unlock transformative, real-world solution. One such possibility, while breaking down microplastics into harmless byproducts, tackling a major environmental issue. So, with Majorana 1, Microsoft has taken a bold step toward a more stable, scalable, and efficient quantum computing future. The world is now watching as quantum technology moves closer to real-world applications.
Moving ahead, in a significant ruling, the Supreme Court has put a stay on the Lokpal's order, which had extended its jurisdiction over High Court judges. The Apex Court observed that all judges, whether from the High Courts or the Supreme Court, are appointed under the Constitution, which implies they are beyond Lokpal's purview. Let's take a closer look at Lokpal's observations. This decision comes after the Lokpal, in a recent order, classified High Court judges as public servants under the Lokpal and Lokayuktas Act 2013, thereby bringing them under its jurisdiction. However, previously, Lokpal had ruled that Chief Justice of India and SC judges do not come under Lokpal's jurisdiction as the SC was not established by an act of the Parliament. The Lokpal's reasoning behind bringing High Court judges under its jurisdiction stems from historical origins. It pointed out that High Courts were established by British acts such as the Indian High Courts Act of 1861 and predate the Indian Constitution. On the other hand, the Supreme Court was created by Article 124 of the Constitution, making it distinct from High Courts in terms of legislative origins. Under Section 14 of the Lokpal Act 2013, the jurisdiction of the Lokpal extends to several categories of public officials. It includes a former and present Prime Minister, except in cases related to international relations, security, public order, atomic energy, and space. Any inquiry against a Prime Minister requires a full bench of the Lokpal, consisting of the chairperson and all members with at least 2/3 of its members' approval. Additionally, the Lokpal also covers former and present union ministers, members of either House of Parliament, and government officials across groups A, B, C, and D categories, serving in connection with the affairs of the Government of India. Furthermore, it includes chairpersons, members, officers, or employees of any body, authority, company, trust, etc. that is either established by an Act of Parliament, partially or wholly funded or controlled by the central government, or receiving foreign donations exceeding Rs 10 lakh per year under the Foreign Contribution Regulation Act 2010. With the Supreme Court stay order, the debate over the jurisdiction of Lokpal continues, raising questions about the oversight of judicial authorities in the country. In a significant move, the Ministry of Information and Broadcasting or INB has issued a stern warning to over-the-top or OTT platforms against the streaming of obscene content. This advisory has been directed at online curated content publishers and self-regulatory bodies overseeing OTT platforms. OTT refers to media services that provide access to films and television content via the internet, bypassing traditional cable and satellite providers. OTT regulation faces multiple challenges, including user verification issues, where difficulties in age verification complicate parental controls. Another major issue is the lack of clarity, as ambiguity in defining content categories hampers effective regulation. Additionally, freedom of speech remains a concern, as balancing regulation with free expression proves to be complex. Lastly, inefficient rules contribute to regulatory challenges, as existing regulations fail to effectively manage content ratings. These challenges collectively create obstacles in ensuring appropriate and well-regulated content on OTT platforms. Now, let's look at the key aspects of the advisory. The Ministry has instructed OTT platforms to adhere to the Code of Ethics as outlined in Part 3 of the Information Technology, Intermediary Liability and Digital Media Ethics Code Rules 2021, IT Rules 2021. This Code of Ethics prohibits the transmission of unlawful content while also mandating an age-based classification system. Furthermore, a 3-level institutional grievance redressal mechanism has been established, beginning with self-regulation by publishers, followed by self-regulation by self-regulating bodies of publishers, and culminating in an oversight mechanism by the government. Additionally, OTT platforms must comply with existing laws aimed at preventing the publication of obscene or pornographic content. These include the Indecent Representation of Women Act 1986, the Protection of Children from Sexual Offences or POCSO Act 2012, the Information Technology or IT Act 2000, and the Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita or BNS 2023. With this advisory, the government aims to ensure responsible content dissemination while upholding ethical standards in the digital entertainment industry. Moving ahead, we bring you an important update on a significant health initiative. The Ministry of Health and Family Welfare has launched an intensified non-communicable disease or NCD screening campaign. This initiative is a part of the National Programme for Prevention and Control of Non-Communicable Diseases or NPNCD, which aims to enhance public health outcomes in India. Now, let's take a closer look at the framework of this campaign. To ensure the smooth planning, implementation, monitoring, and evaluation of this program, NCD divisions have been established at national, state, and district levels. The National NCD Division is led by the Joint Secretary NCD at the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, with the Deputy Director General serving as the technical head at the Directorate General Health Services. Now, what is the core objective of this campaign? The main goal is to achieve 100% screening of individuals aged 30 years and above. The coverage includes screening for prevalent non-communicable diseases such as diabetes, hypertension, and 3 common types of cancer: oral, breast, and cervical. To make this initiative effective, various strategies have been adopted, including door-to-door outreach, ensuring the availability of essential medical supplies, real-time monitoring, and multi-level coordination at block, district, and state levels. Before we delve deeper, let's understand what non-communicable diseases are and their status in India. NCDs are chronic diseases that are not transmissible from one person to another. According to WHO data from 2018, NCDs account for 63% of all deaths in India, while globally, this figure stands at 74%. Among the key contributors to this alarming trend are cardiovascular diseases, which account for 27% of NCD-related deaths, chronic respiratory diseases at 11%, cancers at 9%, and diabetes at 3%. So what is driving the rising trend of NCDs in India? Several factors contribute to this, broadly categorized into behavioral, biological, and other influences. Behavioral factors include tobacco use, both smoking and smokeless, alcohol consumption, unhealthy dietary habits, physical inactivity, and exposure to air pollution, both indoor and outdoor. Biological and physiological factors such as obesity, high blood pressure, elevated blood sugar levels, and high cholesterol further increase the risk. Additionally, stress and hereditary factors also play a role in the prevalence of NCDs. The government has taken multiple steps to address the growing burden of NCDs in the country. Under the National Health Mission, efforts are being made to provide quality healthcare, especially for underserved and marginalized communities in rural areas. Additionally, the Pradhan Mantri Bharatiya Jan Aushadhi Pariyojana or PMBGP scheme ensures the availability of quality generic medicines at affordable prices. The Affordable Medicines and Reliable Implants for Treatment or Amrit initiative focuses on providing cost-effective medicines for the treatment of critical illnesses, including cancer and cardiovascular diseases. Furthermore, promoting a healthy lifestyle is essential in the fight against NCDs. The Eat Right India movement, spearheaded by the Food Safety and Standards Authority of India or FSSAI, is actively encouraging people to adopt healthier eating habits. With such dedicated initiatives and strategies in place, the intensified NCD screening campaign is set to play a crucial role in reducing the burden of non-communicable diseases in India.
Moving ahead, let's take a closer look at an important analysis featured in RBI's latest bulletin. This report examines the quality of public expenditure and its socio-economic impact in India, especially in light of the capital expenditure pushed by both the centre and the states. Let's dive into the key insights. To begin with, the RBI has developed a Quality of Public Expenditure or QPE index to empirically assess the relationship between the quality of public spending and socio-economic outcomes. This index takes into account several crucial factors, including the capital outlay to GDP ratio, revenue expenditure to capital outlay ratio, development expenditure to GDP ratio, and the interest payments to total expenditure ratio, among others. Now, let's look at how India's public expenditure has evolved over time. The RBI study categorizes the trajectory of India's public spending since 1991 into 6 distinct phases. First, the post-liberalization phase from 1991 to 1995, when fiscal consolidation took place but at the cost of capital and developmental spending. Moving ahead between 1996 and 2003, known as the pre-FRBM years, the country faced rising debt burdens and stagnant public investment. Then came the FRBM implementation phase from 2003 to 2008, where rules-based fiscal discipline helped improve capital outlays and reduced interest payments. However, the period from 2008 to 2013, marked by the global financial crisis, saw counter-cyclical measures that, while supporting economic recovery, also strained fiscal stability. From 2013 to 2020, during the GST and fiscal devolution phase, the introduction of GST and higher fiscal devolution led to a reshaping of expenditure priorities. Finally, from 2020 to 2025, the pandemic response phase has been characterized by an infrastructure-led recovery, with capital expenditure continuing to drive growth despite elevated borrowing levels. So why does this matter? Well, the study finds that higher expenditure quality aligns with stronger economic performance and improved social outcomes. Interestingly, the center's expenditure quality is found to be more strongly associated with GDP growth, whereas the expenditure quality of states has a greater impact on the Human Development Index or HDI. Now, let's discuss the role of public expenditure and why it is crucial for a country's development. Efficient public spending enhances public goods and services, such as education, healthcare, and infrastructure, ultimately improving human capital and productivity. Additionally, it supports private investment by creating demand and expanding productive capacity. It also plays a key role in promoting macroeconomic stability by fostering sustainable growth and maintaining fiscal discipline. Notably, prioritizing capital expenditure over revenue spending is essential for long-term economic growth. But what about the risks? While public expenditure is vital, excessive spending can pose significant risks. High public expenditure may lead to budgetary deficits, higher interest rates, and reduced national savings. Furthermore, it can erode government credibility and investor confidence, making fiscal management a critical balancing act. So, while India has made a significant progress in improving the quality of public expenditure, ensuring fiscal prudence and maintaining a strategic focus on capital investment will be key to sustaining long-term growth. Now we bring you a significant update on suicide death rates in India. A recent study published in The Lancet has analyzed data from the Global Burden of Diseases, Injuries and Risk Factors Study (GBD 2021). The findings reveal a notable decline in India's suicide death rates over the past 3 decades. Let's take a closer look at the key insights. At a global level, suicide remains a critical issue, with one person dying by suicide every 43 seconds on average. However, India's scenario has shown a positive trend. Between 1990 and 2021, India's suicide death rate saw a remarkable decrease, dropping from 18.9 per lakh population in 1990 to 13 per lakh population in 2021. Notably, the decline was more significant among females than males. For females, the suicide death rate reduced from 16.8 per lakh in 1990 to 10.3 per lakh in 2021. While for males, the decline was from 20.9 per lakh in 1990 to 15.7 per lakh in 2021. Despite this positive decline, certain sections of the population remain highly vulnerable. The study highlights that in 2020, the highest suicide death rates in India were recorded among educated women, with family problems being the most common factor. Understanding the causes behind suicide is crucial to addressing the issues effectively. Several key factors contribute to suicide risk. Substance use, such as the abuse of alcohol and drugs, can lead to impulsive actions, increasing the risk of suicide. Poverty and deprivation, including limited access to essential services and support systems, can contribute to mental distress and suicidal tendencies. Mental disorders like depression and anxiety significantly impact mental health, increasing the likelihood of suicide. Social and cultural factors such as societal pressures and cultural norms like the pressure to achieve academic success can contribute to stress and mental health challenges. Trauma or violence, particularly experiences of childhood trauma or sexual violence, can have lasting psychological effects, making individuals more vulnerable to suicide risk. So, what are the key factors that contributed to this decline? Several initiatives and policy changes have played a crucial role. The decriminalization of suicide through the Mental Health Care Act 2017 removed it as an offense under the law. Additionally, the Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita or BNS does not include a provision similar to Section 309 of the erstwhile IPC, which previously criminalized suicide attempts. The National Suicide Prevention Strategy, launched in 2022, aims to reduce suicide mortality by 10% by 2030. Global and national efforts have also played an essential role. WHO's Mental Health Action Plan 2013 to 2030 recognizes mental health as a crucial aspect of overall well-being. Similarly, India's National Mental Health Policy 2014 and initiatives like SDG Target 3.0 focus on promoting mental health awareness. Support systems and helplines such as Manodarpan and Kiran provide essential mental health support to those in distress. While the decline in suicide death rates is a positive step, there is still a long way to go. With continuous efforts in mental health awareness, policy reforms, and accessible support systems, India aims to further reduce suicide mortality rates in the coming years.
In today's Personality in News, we turn our attention to Gopal Krishna Gokhale. India remembers the visionary leader on his death anniversary, honoring his immense contributions to India's freedom movement. Born in Ratnagiri district, Maharashtra, Gokhale was a prominent nationalist and social reformer. Let's look at his key contributions. His political journey saw him serve as the secretary of the Sarvajanik Sabha, and he was also associated with the journal Sudharak. In 1905, he founded the Servants of India Society. The same year, he presided over the Indian National Congress session, guiding India's struggle for self-governance. His legacy extended beyond politics, as Mahatma Gandhi himself considered Gokhale his mentor and guide. Gokhale's value of nationalism, liberalism, and leadership continue to inspire generations.
As we conclude today's main news, let's have a look at some quick updates. A jailed MP has petitioned the Punjab and Haryana High Court for permission to attend Parliament to avoid disqualification under Article 101, Clause 4. According to this article, if a member of either House of Parliament is absent from all meetings for 60 days without the House's permission, the House may declare their seat vacant. Recent news reports indicate a return of stagflation in the US market. Stagflation is an economic condition that combines slow economic growth, high unemployment, and rising inflation. It creates a dilemma for policymakers since addressing one issue such as inflation may worsen another, such as unemployment. The World Bank's private lending arm has withdrawn from funding waste incineration projects in Gujarat. The International Finance Corporation, a member of the World Bank Group, was established in 1956 and is headquartered in Washington. India is a member of the organization. The Prime Minister Internship Scheme or PMIS is once again open for applications with the launch of round 2 of the pilot phase. The objective of the Prime Minister Internship Scheme is to harness the potential of India's youth population by providing them with 12-month paid internships in top companies across India. Recently, a volcano erupted at Mount Dukono in Indonesia. With a height of 1,087 meters above sea level, Mount Dukono is one of Indonesia's 127 active volcanoes. It is located on Halmahera Island. A team of researchers in India has identified common metabolites across cancers, such as pancreatic cancer and lung cancer, that could serve as universal cancer biomarkers. A biomarker is an objective measure of biological processes in a cell or organism, which can be detected through biological molecules in blood, fluids, or tissues. Fort William in Kolkata, which serves as the headquarters of the Eastern Army Command, has recently been renamed Vijayadurg. Originally named after King William III of England, the renaming to Vijayadurg is a tribute to the oldest fort on Maharashtra's Sindhudurg coast. This fort served as a crucial naval base during the reign of Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj. Before we sign off, let's challenge your understanding in today's installment of Test Your Learning. Thank you for joining us. We hope you found this episode of News Today engaging. For the solutions to the quiz and to access the PDF version of News Today, remember to visit the provided links in the description below.